Hello, and thank you for joining us, everybody. Welcome to the August 2021 Power Apps Community Call. In case you haven't joined us before, we do this every single month. You'll find us just like this on the third Wednesday every month at 8 a.m. Pacific time. So our next call, therefore, will be September 15. And so on this call, what we like to do is share the latest news and community contributions that are going on in the land of Power Apps. And that kind of overlaps into the whole general Power Platform a lot on this call. We also get to meet the teams who build Power Apps and the Power Platform technologies, and they show us the new things that they're working on and releasing. Like Varda's here today to show us some stuff she's been working on. We also do lots of demos and deep dives on all kinds of cool things with Power Apps and just generally help us each other out learning neat things with Power Apps. So today we have a couple Power Apps from the Demo Extravaganza, so we're going to see those as well. One of them is a real world business solution that you might even, take and plug right into your company. And the other one is maybe something you like to play with your kids. It's a video game. It really goes to show you can build anything on a Power App. So we always like to give a shout out to everybody here who you don't see. You see Chuck and me here every month. There's Chuck. This is me, Todd, on the right there, Todd Baginski. I work at Canviz, where I'm our CTO and a partner, and I guide our teams on all things technical. Chuck works at Microsoft, and he basically guides the community on all things Power Apps. We also have Dana, Andrew, and Heather behind the scenes helping us out every month to get the word out, tell people this is about to happen, and then produce the videos afterward and post them. It turns out most people watch this call recorded, but we are very excited that we always have so many people show up. I see almost 200 here already today. Thanks for being here, everybody. We have a great community, not just during this call, but in between this call every month, and a lot of that happens on Twitter. So if you look for the Power Apps CC hashtag, you'll see that all these folks in my cool word art graphic of the month, that, by the way, I created with the Power App, you can follow this hashtag and see all kinds of great things happening with Power Apps. All these people here tweeted something about Power Apps in the last month. So if you're just in the mood to go see what's new and shaking in the world of Power Apps, follow that hashtag. The other really cool thing about this call is right now, there are tons of people who are fast track recognized solution architects, or a Power App MVP, or a Power App champion, or a Power addict. Basically, all those different things mean these people love Power Apps and they love helping other people do Power Apps too. They're in the chat channel right now. So if you're blocked on something, or you're trying to learn Power Apps, or you got a question about Power Apps, just bring it up and ask. Everyone who's here is really happy to help you out. So that brings us to our agenda for today's call. So today we've got Varda, Juli, and Gerard here to show us really cool things they've been working on with Power Apps. First, Varda's going to take us through a new Power Apps feature called Performance Insights. And I can't wait to see this because I love the idea of anything that will tell me, here's exactly how you can go make your app better. I don't even have to really investigate it much with this cool tool that she's going to show us. The next one is the Event Calendar Power App, and Juli created this one, and this is going to be something that you might want to plug into your organization to track your events. And then the final one today, Gerard's going with How to Feed a Dragon video game, and we got the sound working and everything just before the call started, so this should be a lot of fun. After all those cool demos are done, we'll loop back and talk about cool things that have been happening generally in the land of Power Apps, where you can learn even more about Power Apps and the recent news on what's been happening with the technology. Okay, so let's turn it over to Varda now. And Varda, welcome. Thank you for being here today. And I can't wait to see what you're going to show all of us about performance insights today. It's been a little while since we've had some model-driven content on the call, so thanks for bringing that today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much, Todd. Let me just share my screen. All right. Hey, everyone. I'm really excited to be joining you today to introduce a new feature that we've added to really empower our makers to build performance model-driven apps. So I'll be talking about Performance Insights, which is a new self-service tool that is now available in public preview on the Power Apps Maker portal. And before diving in and showing the cool demo, I wanted to provide some context as to why we built this feature and really give some sense of the problem we were trying to solve. So as you know, better performance continues to be a top ask from Power Apps users. And while we as a product team are investing in perf improvements to the platform, certain performance issues, such as those caused by customizations, need to be mitigated by our makers. While we have tools like Solution Checker that do static code analysis, we found that people aren't necessarily aware of the runtime performance issues of their apps. So this is when the end users are facing issues while using their apps. And this is where Performance Insights comes in. We want to empower you to build faster apps that your end users love. With this new feature, we analyze runtime and usage telemetry data to provide you with a daily set of insights and recommendations related to the performance of your Power Apps. This includes standalone model-driven apps or customer engagement apps such as Dynamics, sales, marketing, or customer service, and more. And this list of recommendations is prioritized by severity to help you turn these insights into action and to get better performance. To go over some key points of this new feature, Performance Insights generates recommendations based on usage telemetry that has been collected over a 24-hour period, and these insights are available for up to 7 days. A really important point is that if your app doesn't have enough usage, then you won't have insights or recommendations since it's based on the telemetry data. So the recommendation from our side would be to use Performance Insights with apps that have usage and in an environment that has usage, such as a production environment. Also, these insights are sorted by severity, from critical being the most important ones that will have the highest performance gains, to warning, and then informational. The severity of each category varies by how it's determined, but factors such as performance of the page load time and the number of end users impacted by the event influence what the severity would be. These insights are across several categories, from different areas like customizations, page performance, form performance, network and latency, and more. And I'll go over some of these in the next slide, but really our goal for this feature is to be a platform where several first-party teams can now add their own recommendations and insights to help you gain better performance and have a richer set of insights. So these are some of the areas and categories that we have today. Things like client environment, which will tell you about the minimum system requirements, or the browser type, the browser version that your users are on that are affecting your performance, or how different customizations are, like XHR request type or different plugins that you're using are impacting the overall performance of your model-driven app. And before I dive into the demo, here's the quick summary of how you can use this feature. The front door for this feature is going to be in the Maker portal, so make.powerapps. When you go to the left navigation pane, you can select apps, and then for any model-driven app, if you click on the context menu or the command bar, performance should show up in the preview. And if there aren't any questions, I'll hop in the demo.
Is there going to be a version of Canvas apps instead of model?
For now, the focus is on model-driven apps. The roadmap for Canvas apps isn't a clear timeline for that yet.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. All right, so I have my Make.Power apps open, and I've selected an environment which does have some usage. I'm on the apps app list side, and I'm going to go ahead and select an app that I want to view insights for. So as you can see, it's in the command bar, or in the context menu, you're going to see a performance preview label. And when I click on that, it takes me to this grid, which has several categories listed that are ranked by severity. So the way I would navigate this is, if I want to deep dive into any specific one, you click on that, and then the details pane is populated with different information such as the severity, the area, the category, but also the motivation of that specific category, the insight, and the recommendation as to what you can do to mitigate this issue. We also link to our documentation that in some cases provides deeper details into how you can mitigate the issue, as well as providing certain data that can help supplement it. So in some categories, we also provide additional data that you can download to deep dive more into the category. And this is the date picker, where you can pick a date up to 7 previous days. For this app, since there wasn't usage in the last few days, the most recently available data that I have is from August 13th. But yeah, this is the feature. And I'm happy to answer any questions folks might have.
It looks really, really helpful, Varda. I have a question right off the bat. So how much telemetry do you usually recommend you need to gather before you really see results in there? I know you said you had to have a minimum amount for it to work, but do you find that within 1 week or 2 weeks of usage, or you need a month to shake it all out?
So
optimizing an app, how does that usually go and flow?
Yeah, so the cool thing about this is that it's looking at daily, it's going to look at the telemetry data over a 24-hour period. So what that really entails is that we're going to analyze telemetry data that's collected over a 24-hour period in the UTC time zone. So depending on when you view it, it's going to be a different date. So for example, if I open it up today on August 18th, the latest data that I would have for my app could be collected over August 17th in the UTC time zone. So it's over a day period, but within that, what we recommend is that there was usage on that specific date. So it's not really aggregating information over a month or data over a week, but really for that daily time period. And the recommendation to use apps that have usage is more from, which environment you're using it from as well. Like if you use it from a test environment versus from a production environment.
That makes sense. I see a couple questions here in chat. One person is asking, can performance preview be exported to Power BI using Power Automation?
Yeah, we don't have that capability right now, but that is a good suggestion that I will note down.
Right on. And right now, this only works for model-driven apps, so I'm sure everybody hasn't asked it yet, but do you have plans for Canvas apps for this too?
Yeah, so really for now, the focus has been on model-driven apps because we want to empower our enterprise-level app makers to solve this problem. And model-driven apps, that's what we're finding has the greatest performance issues. I don't want to comment on the timeline yet because we haven't necessarily committed to a timeline for Canvas apps yet, but for now, the focus is going to be on model-driven apps. And with convergent apps coming out as well, that's going to be our next focus too.
Ah, best of both worlds that way.
Yes.
That sounds great.
That's where the future is. Yep.
Super. And so for this feature right now, is there anything special anybody needs to do to turn it on, or is it just going to be there in every tenant and every environment?
Yeah, no, the really cool thing is that it's already available for all your model-driven apps. There's no switch that you need to turn on. Since it's in public preview, it should be available. The main caveat is that your app needs to have usage. So if there isn't usage, then these insights wouldn't be generated. So you wouldn't have access to the grid.
That makes sense. Cool. Let's see if there's any other questions in here. A lot of people are saying they think this would fit great into the Center of Excellence as a module in there. Yeah.
Awesome. That's a great suggestion, yeah.
I think that's it for the open questions that I've seen in there. I'm sure if somebody else has one, they'll pop it in there, and that's great. I can't wait to go try this out. I know there's a couple of model-driven apps that we are developing right now that I want to go run this scan on just to see if there's room for improvement.
Yeah, we would love for everyone to try out this feature, and I think, Todd, in some of the slides we've linked a forum as well that you can leave your feedback on, but always feel free to reach out to me as well with any feedback that you have, and looking forward to questions and feedback from folks.
Fantastic. Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Learning new things already here today. The next one we have is Juli is now going to share with us her event calendar power app.
Thanks for that, Todd. This is actually really exciting for me. I started my Power Apps journey just 2 years ago in August, and published my very first app on September 3rd of that year. So to have come this far, where I'm an active member of the Power Platform community and helping people and publishing some blog articles and having an app that I can demonstrate is really cool.
And
this
really
actually
cool.
solves.
I love hearing the stories like that. This technology seems to really enable that. You're not the first person who's told a story, who's been on the call like that. I'm like, hey, I just got started with this, and check out how far I got already. That's really great.
Well, we set up a whole citizen development community in the last year around the Power Platform. So we've really been working on that. But this particular app was designed to solve a business need. So this is what we have right now. We have this lovely list that is pages and pages long for all of our various offices. And while it's nice to look at this, you really can't compare anything. And this particular little filter is not really helpful. You can't compare anything. You can't see what day of the week it's on. And our users want something better. So thanks to a recent video put out by Shane Young about creating a calendar, I have resolved this for us. And I'm going to show you this page first, simply because this is his calendar in his video is just a single month, and you can go through it. So we have our holidays, we have our month, and so we have our list, but we also have this little visual here. Gives us the highlighted day of the week. If we hover over it, it tells us what the holiday is, which is really nice. And we can go, let's find a country that we have that has regions. So we get a couple of different things here. We can see no holidays in this list when we bring this up. And the reason for that is because in Spain, there are two different calendars, one for Madrid and one for Barcelona. And because they're different, we do them separately, but we can view all of them together. And here we have individual holidays, but because we have them in different locations, this isn't showing the holiday name anymore. It's showing us the location so that we get this visual. Well, where is this holiday at? Is it in both places? Is it in Barcelona? Is it in Madrid? And their shared holidays, you can see here, is in both Barcelona and Madrid, different color. Or we can choose to view them just by a single region. But our users wanted something more than this. This is really great. We can go back and forth. It changes the year if we go forward. So we don't have any holidays in here now for 2022 yet, but you can see that we're looking at 2022. And these dates will be correct and on the correct day of the week, regardless of how far we go, whether it's a leap year, whatever it is, this is going to work, which is fantastic. And I'm going to spare you explaining why it's going to work, because Shane in his video, which I've linked to in resources, does a much better job of explaining it than I do. But again, our users want something different and better and more. So we have this. We've given them a full year view. It has the same features as the month view with the single countries with single regions, countries with multiple regions or locations. Sorry, this is a little slow. You know, VPN isn't always the fastest thing here. And you can see the challenge. This is a long list of holidays, which is why the visual comes in so handy. We have, again, our tooltip. And this is the tooltip, by the way, pulling up this information. There's a link to the blog article I wrote about using a tooltip in this manner, where it's not static typed in text. It's looking some information up to provide you the information that you're seeing. And again, we can choose a single region here. And we're going to run into this. There we go. But I think for me, the part that I like the best, that I had the most fun with, was this compare feature. And again, I apologize for the slowness, because in demonstrating this out to a bunch of users, they came back with, well, we still need the ability to compare. I need to compare. I have teams in 2 locations, and I need to know what days they're all in the office. So we gave them a compare. And this allows them to compare up to 4 different countries. But we're back to lists again. Well, I suppose lists are good, but we can also compare by calendar. So they have the option. Let's see where we're at. We're in 2021. I think it's because the network's slow. We should be seeing some highlighted days here right now, and it hasn't popped up. But as you can see, having the ability to view it this way or this way makes it extremely flexible. And it doesn't have to be holidays. You could do this for anything. You could do it for any kind of events that you wanted to do. So it's a really handy tool.
What was the most challenging part of building this particular Power App, Julie?
Do you know, the most challenging part came in, or one of the most challenging parts was building, because each of these is an individual set of galleries. So there are 24 galleries that compose this right here. I had to work that out, but there is a lot of calendar math involved in this. It's not just sequence. So there's a lot of date adding and date values that go into making this up. And that probably for me was the most challenging part of putting this together. But the features, the key features that are used in this are sequence, of course, and the gallery wrap count, which is something I didn't know anything about. I had never paid attention to it. I didn't know what it did. So the gallery wrap count is what allows you to put this on a single row. This right here, let's go here. It'll be a little easier to look at. This is a gallery right here. Just this row is a gallery with a single row with a wrap count. This down here is another gallery with another wrap count of 7 that gives us these 7 days here. And you match them up. But the wrap count, the date time math, and the calendar function. And the calendar function is another one I didn't know anything about. The calendar function is what allows me to get this. It brings me the days of the week, and then I can choose to use a text function to just get the first letter. Or if I use short, it would give me the short names, SUN, MON, and so on. But those are the key things that I used and that I found so fun about this. For me, making Power Apps is all about making it work, getting a vision and making it work. And that's what excites me about it. And the neat thing is this only has one external data source.
That sure makes it simple.
It
I
does.
bet everybody at your company was really happy to go from the first experience you showed us in the very first screenshot to this. Very well
Well,
done.
we haven't rolled it out yet, but we're getting there. The people that we have shopped it out to are excited. They can't wait to see it in action. And I hope to have this put out as a sample here in the next couple of weeks.
Fantastic. I've seen a
Julie,
few different Power Apps with one calendar sample, but none of them that put 12 on a page like you've done. That's going to be really cool.
Julie, I have a question for you. On that last view where you have the different calendars, is that you actually doing that layout, or is it you using the responsive containers?
You know, I have not really gotten into responsive containers
Okay.
at all. So I did that layout based on what I apologize. My network's really slow.
Yeah.
I did that layout based on what our need was, because this is going to be surfaced out on a SharePoint page.
And
So-
that actually answers Daniel Holliday's question. I was then asking, do you then embed this into SharePoint? And the answer is obviously yes.
Yes, it's in SharePoint, and my next piece that I'm working on with this is to turn each of those calendars, create a component out of those.
Ah, of course, that makes sense. And that way you could drop it into any app.
Right. And then maybe responsive containers. I'm starting to learn a little bit about those in Dataverse, because if you do a screen that starts with data, it's got a responsive container built already. The way the screen is built, it uses them. So I am learning a little bit, but I didn't know about it when I did this.
Perfect.
So I'll let you have your screen back. Thank you for letting me share.
You're
That was
welcome.
amazing.
Thank you for joining us. Love to hear those stories like you told at the beginning of people who just got started with this tech and having great time with it and sharing. It's really cool. All right. That brings us to our third Power App of the day to take a look at. And this one is a video game. This is how to feed your dragon. And I can't wait to see this one. Chuck and I were both saying between the call, like when we were looking at all the Demo Extravaganza apps, this is the one we were like really keen on checking out. Well, I like them all, but this one is my favorite. So Gerard, welcome.
Hi, Todd. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here today. So I will let you take it over from here and show us the wonderful game. And I'll let everybody know, too, that we have the audio working for this. So you'll be able to hear some cool music with the game here, too.
Good stuff. Hopefully it still is functional. Fingers crossed. So look, hi, everyone. My name is Gerard Simpson, and I'm joining you from the town of Omagh in County Tyrone, Northern Ireland. I work as a senior engineer for a great company called SSA Renewables. I work within their onshore wind side. I'm a chartered civil engineer with no formal IT qualifications, and I've been working with the Power Platform on the side for a couple of years now. And I think it just really is a truly amazing platform. If anyone wants to connect, get in touch. I've added some details at the bottom of the slide there. And I also have just a YouTube channel, which is currently empty, but I do plan to chart out the build of the app over a few short videos in the coming days. And also I see it as my way of starting to give something back to the community, because I've been learning so much over this last couple of years from some amazing content creators, some of which are on this call. So thank you so much. So look, without further ado, I'll get on to, I've got a couple of slides, and then we can get stuck into a demo. So this is a game, so it's called How to Feed Your Dragon, obviously, and it's a game all about dragons that love their veg. So why did I opt for a game, and why this game? Well, I suppose I've been building various business applications since I started properly getting into Power Apps last year, and before that it was more Power Automate, but then just last year I really ramped up on Power Apps. And I never really tackled a game, so I saw the Power Apps Demo Extravaganza come up there a few months ago, and I thought it was the perfect chance to have a stab at a game. So this is also my opportunity to get stuck in and start to experiment and play with timers and animation and stuff like that. So it was a great experience. But essentially it was about trying something different, and where the main requirement was fun, essentially, which is a great requirement. The dragon theme was suggested by my son, based on one of his favorite TV shows. And the game itself, it has three different games, each with 3 different levels of difficulty, and also then a leaderboard through in there as well. The difficulty levels change the density of the grids, and the various screen grabs that you see of the 3 games at the bottom are actually the different difficulty levels as well, so going from high to low, from left to right. Quick overview, just the last slide before we get into the demo. So I'll not go through all the text, that's just some blurb that sort of tries to funnily explain the games, but essentially the games are all about hand-eye coordination, speed, precision, memory, and the objective is really to gather as many vegetables as possible for these hungry dragons. So in terms of a wee bit about the back-end stuff of the game, the key resources in the app are the media in the form of images and audio, and these are used extensively throughout the game. In terms of data, there's various collections that are used throughout the game as part of the core expressions for each of the games, all of which are created from the initial call 10 veg and call 10 barrels collections that you can just about make out there. So without further ado, let's get stuck into a demo and hope that the demo gods are on our side in terms of sound. So just bear with me a wee second. And let's give it a crack. This is the home screen, and the main controls in this home screen are the 3 buttons which take you to each of the 3 games. And there's also then a button here for the leaderboard, and then there's also difficulty levels which are set here. And in terms of the difficulty levels, so these are, whenever I select high, mid, or low, this sets a variable record which has various properties in the variable, which cascades right the way through the app and changes various aspects of the app via this one click. There's also then a leaderboard which is there for each of the 3 games. So it's not saving anywhere at the minute, so it's 0 for now, but this will populate whenever you see me embarrass myself in a minute. And then, as I say, then these 3 buttons which take you through the games with a subtle animation to sort of try and draw the player's attention to the actual buttons themselves as the main point of navigation. So I'm going to start at high difficulty with this first game. So go veg your bets, and we'll see how I get on here. So this is an initial sort of introduction to the game, and essentially this will run for a few seconds and it'll start the game automatically, or you can skip and kick off the game using the skip button here. And the aim of the game is really you're trying to get as many veg into the open barrels as possible without splatting on top of the closed barrels. So it can be tricky enough to do this on a computer. It's actually a lot easier on a tablet, because you've got a touch screen and you can use 2 hands, whereas now I'm moving a mouse about and my eyes are going up and down the screen because it's quite a large monitor. But I've actually got quite a short duration for the game, only at 25 or 30 seconds. And that's my score, that's my tally there in the bottom right. And that'll be taken then and it'll be used to populate the scoreboard.
No,
so
this is freaking awesome. I would love to try this on a tablet.
Oh, thank you. Actually, it looks amazing on a tablet with the real high def screen. But yeah, look, on the tablet it really is cool. But obviously, I just couldn't do that for the demo today.
Sure.
But I'll just nip down and just to give you an example of the impact that changing the difficulty has to the veg or bets game. First of all, so skip this, and so as I say, those variables are set, and it cascades in right the way down through the app, changing the size of your galleries, changing the size of the images within the galleries, which are responsive, as well as then changing the number in the collections. Obviously, I scored nothing there because I didn't actually play the game, but it's just to sort of demonstrate what the change of these difficulties does, and just I suppose the value of variables and how amazing they are, and the power of them. I'll go to the next game now, Tech 5. So, and I'll maybe go to, so I'll just go back and I'll go to mid-level difficulty, which is an 8x8 grid. So this is slightly different, and this takes the collection of 10 images and expands it up to 100. Sorry, in this case it's 64. But so I'm taking 5 cards. So you're trying to it's about speed and precision and trying to collect your 5 each time. Like I've only got a few there because it's such a short time. I should have set the timer differently there, but so I'm picking these cucumbers. Try and squeeze 2 in here if I can before the timer runs out. There's 10. Yep, too slow at the end. But so yeah, that's the Tech 5 game. And then the other so you can try again, obviously, or you can go back and pick another challenge. So for Total Recall, this is actually quite tricky. This is a memory game. I'm going to go for low first of all, so I don't embarrass myself as a maker of the game. And I'll probably still embarrass myself. So I'll skip this. And so I'm finding 5 of those. So where's the 5? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there. I'll miss that one for the crack. And there. and find 5 of them. Sorry, I should have adjusted the time and the games. But I'll just give this one another go, and I'll show you with the high difficulty. You really need to be on your A game here, so I'll see how this goes. This is a 10 by 10 grid, and so I'm trying to find. That shouldn't be too bad, he says. So 5 tomatoes. There, or there. Yeah, I got 5, just about. That one's a lot trickier, actually, and it's amazing how deceiving, depending on the mix of veg that you're presented with, how deceiving it can be. If there's a lot of greens and stuff that clash, say broccoli clashes with lettuces and stuff, it can be a wee bit sort of mind-bending trying to spot them in certain instances. But yeah, and I'll just go then just one more maybe for total recall if that's okay time-wise, Todd.
Oh yeah, you're good.
Cool. So I'll try and see. I'll maybe just as well. Just give us a second. And I'd set the runtime as, yeah, maybe I just hadn't run on start. Give that a go. So we'll give us an hour blast here. So total recall, and we're going to go mid-level, and that should hopefully be a longer game now. Unless I haven't got that variable in the timer for this one, but we'll see. Okay, so 5 aubergines. Okay, so we've got there. Was it there or there or there? Over here somewhere. There we go. Broccoli. So there's 3 there. So you're sort of trying to plot your moves. Forgot where this one is. Where is it? There's one up here too.
Top left.
There we go. Cool. 5 of these. Okay, so that's the duration over. But yeah, look, that's the game. Yeah, is there any questions, or does anybody have anything they want to mention at this stage, or anything you want me to explain about the game?
I saw one question go by. Someone's wondering how long it took you to make it.
I wasn't recording, thankfully. How much time it took. To be honest, actually, whenever I started looking at this, I was thinking I must try animation. So there's a lot of timers built in here which take you back to the home screen automatically and stuff. So, but I was thinking I must try animation, and I literally had created this grid of 100, and it was icons, and I set up a shuffle, basically shuffled, and there was like 98 icons, then 2 random icons, or sorry, 2 other icons. You had to match to 2 other icons, and every time you matched the 2, had selected the second one, it would then reshuffle things. You'd have to find them again, but the icons were actually rotating as well, and it was really mind-bending. all these icons rotating on the page. But that was the start of it, and that was like literally half an hour just messing about. But then once I started this, once I got the concept for this, it started off as literally a barrel moving left to right. That was the initial game for the veg your bets game, and then I thought the animation was just a wee bit too jumpy, so I decided then to change to this setup now of veg sort of disappearing at the top, reappearing at the bottom, with a slight bit of animation at the bottom, and then with like the wee speed lines that appear and then disappear through time, using timers to sort of give it sort of flow better for me. But basically, whenever I started and got into it, it was 1 game, and then it became 3 games. So yeah, look, long story short, yeah, it took quite a few hours to make.
That's really neat. And also, you have a story like Juli's, kind of, right? Like you mentioned your civil engineer background. You don't come from a IT coding background and picked this up and figured it out. And here we are, a cool game.
Yeah, no, pretty much. Like it's amazing how powerful the Power Platform is. Like it allows people like me who have no coding experience to literally pick something up and build something like this, or build a cool business app or whatever. So it's an amazing platform, it really is. So much potential.
Absolutely. I see people asking if there's cheat codes for it. It makes me remember the one from Super Contra back in the day.
Well, I suppose the cheat code is that you can have a copy of the application. So there's a link which we can post in the chat, and yeah, you can. It's free to download, and you can take it and you can load in your own images and create your own game, essentially create your own theme. Make it about space. All you really have to do is change the images and make it your own. So yeah.
True.
Gerard, cool. I have a question for you. I see that you recently moved positions? Is your learnings here, did that help with that, or was it orthogonal?
Yeah. It's it's start of September. I'm moving into
congratulations by the way. That's great.
Thanks a lot. It's I suppose it's just we have a few great teams in SSE Renewables who are doing some amazing things with the Power Platform, and I suppose some of the guys saw what I was doing and basically wanted me to be a part of the great movement that's happening in our company, SSE Renewables. So I know some of the guys are on the call as well. So hello folks, and thanks for joining. But yeah, no, it's great, and it'll be amazing to be able to focus on the Power Platform and just bring my ideas and the sort of, I suppose, the limited wisdom that I have at this stage to the table, and hopefully help the guys out.
That's amazing. I might actually have our marketing team reach out to you because they're looking for some hero stories like this and like Juli's as well. So I may have some people reach out to you, and your face may be up on stars on our blog sites.
Great. Thanks, Chuck.
So you mentioned that you got your YouTube channel set up and you're planning on recording a couple videos that kind of deep dive on the back end on how the tech works with this too, huh?
Yeah. Like for me, I've learned so much from the likes of yourself, Todd, Reza, Daniel, April, so many other people that are creating amazing content, and I've essentially been taking over this last 2 years. So for starters, I'm going to put I suppose a series of videos up on this build, and then thereafter I've got a few ideas, a few things, certain areas that I haven't really seen explored that much that I was going to try and get into, but I see it also as a way for me to try and keep up to speed with the Power Platform, to then feed that back into my day job as well. So that's the plan. But we'll see. Like obviously all these things take time, and there's day job, there's family life, yes. there's this. So as you all know, I'm sure, but it is so addictive that I'll probably always find time to do something on it. So yeah.
If there wasn't that darn day job, right? We would all be making apps all the time. Well, that's awesome. Thank you again for coming on and sharing it with us. And I can't wait to see what other places we see this pop up in the future once Chuck starts talking about it with his friends and Microsoft too. Very cool.
Well, thanks very much. Thank you.
Yeah. If you build another game, come on back and show us again.
I will, surely. Yep.
That's great. All right. So there's been a lot of folks asking like, hey, where can I download this? Where can I learn more about all three of the different things we looked at today? And so that's what I'm going to show you now. Just in general, you can get started here with Power Apps if you're inspired and interested in all these cool things you saw and you want to learn about Power Apps. You just can go through all of these resources right here, and you will become really good at Power Apps if you actually take the time to go through these things. As everyone mentioned, the community shares so much. There's tons of great content out there to help you learn. So getting in specific now, this is what Varda talked about, the performance insight resources. So you can read the blog or see the demo or even give her feedback about that feature here. And if you're wondering like, oh, hey, Todd, I'm trying to grab a screenshot of these links or something real quick, just ask in the chat and we'll post them if you'd like them right away. And then also when this is recorded, we provide a link to this slide deck so you can download the whole deck and check all these things out too. For the event calendar resources, Juli has provided us the link to Shane's video, which I posted into chat earlier, where he talks about building a calendar control out of galleries, the tooltip blog, and also a demo of her app. And then how to feed your dragon, the app demo and build walkthrough. You can see the video there and then the link to actually go download it too. And both Juli's app and Gerard's app, I'd like to mention those apps. We learned about these apps as part of our contest that we had called the Demo Extravaganza. And so we're going to continue to have more and more apps from that contest on our calls throughout the rest of the year. So you can see a lot of these really cool things you can build with Power Apps besides the what's new and coming. So recent news with Power Apps here, Chuck. I know that some of these things are near and dear to your heart as you put them on here today. Anything in particular you'd like to touch on?
Yeah, the one that Varda talked about is the fact that the model and Canvas apps is converging. So if you haven't actually looked at Adrian's article on that, it's actually the second one down. Please do. It talks about how you're actually going to be able to build a single application that takes advantage of both of those technologies. So that would actually be probably the highlight. This one I actually see the most in ideas. I run the ideas site, and I get asked about the most. I guess the second one I get asked the most about, second most, is, hey, what are you guys doing tomorrow? What are you guys going to release? And of course, we're very, very transparent that Varda is actually, her plans are actually in the release wave 2 plan. The things that she hasn't even started writing code on, you can actually, you can find. So that would be probably the second most sought information that I get. And then as far as your model based application developers, the big news for you is you can go out and actually do low code command bar modding. So if you actually want the menus to go out and do other things, you can go out and actually make that happen. Scott Giroux actually does by far the best videos and blog posts on it. There's the last Vancouver user group. We actually cover this for both Vancouver and Ottawa. So that would actually be big news. Make sure and check out Scott Giroux, one of our community people and MVPs. And then I had to put the last one in there for Todd. It's not released yet. It's actually going to release tomorrow, but the Power Platform CLI is getting updated to where you can actually go out and do the pack as part of your continuous integration, continuous deployment pipelines, Todd. So that's great news for you. And then also all the connection references, you can actually go out and modify those inside of your dev pipeline. So watch the blog tomorrow. And Kartik, I hope that you don't mind that I'm actually stealing a little bit of your thunder here. So Todd, that's the news. Back to you.
All right, that's the news. Okay, so about the Power Apps community then. We talked about the beginning about how we have our Power Apps CC hashtag and everyone in here in chat who can help you out. But there's also other great places to go learn too. The first one is the Power Addicts Hangout. It's a call much like this one where just anybody can come on, from the community and present and teach each other things. So go to wearepoweraddicts.com to find out when the next one of those is. And it's another great hashtag to follow on Twitter as well, the Power Addict one, if you're looking for people as well as information about Power Apps. Donna and Sarah have the Less Code, More Power video series as well. This is a shorter series. It's not like an hour-long call like we do here. These would be more 5 to 10-minute snacky type little videos where they have one person on and talk about one topic at a time. So if you're looking for really targeted topics or short deep dives on things, this is a great place to look. I know a lot of the people who've been on this call with us have also been on the Less Code, More Power video series as well. Then there is the Powerful Devs video series 2, and April and Greg also host that one. And if you're interested in being on that show, you can see the link right there. And if you're interested in being on this call sometime, just reach out to Chuck or I and let us know. You can find us on Twitter and we'll take it from there. We love it when people just reach out of the blue and say, hey, check this cool thing out I did. Or we find something surfing Twitter, if you will, and then ask that person, hey, can you come on and show it? So if we haven't found the cool thing you're doing, let us know, because we would love to have you here as well. And so finally, we would just like to say thanks again, as usual. I am not sure how many people are in our call today. Wow, almost 200 still. That is really cool. So we like to say thank you to everybody who comes here and shares with each other and helps unblock each other in the chat too and all that goodness. We always record this. It will be produced and put on the Microsoft 365 Dev YouTube channel. And you can follow Microsoft 365 Dev on Twitter, and that will kind of be your notification on when the video is posted. We'll do a tweet on there. So that's it for this month, and we will see you next month on September 15, where I'm sure the temperature will be a lot cooler for all of us by then, and we'll be starting the fall. So thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Todd. Really appreciate your effort here.
You're welcome. My pleasure.